All right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. This is Pernell Bobby, your AstroShaman. We are here leveraging and generating a world of harmony, leveraging human designed astrology. Today's message, combining human design and astrology, is actually going to be about Pisces. Whoa, the love bug, okay? So when I say the love bug, understand what I mean. We need to look at how leaving a sign who is full of love, full of light, okay, has a positive charge as a masculine energy, a masculine air sign, Aquarius, where it, with that positive charge, seems like it's a little bit more dim and grim, but it's just objective, and its ability to detach, aka Aquarius and Venus, has shown us a more distinct, sophisticated, mature, evolved, futuristic form of love that says, hey, if you need to sleep in a different room, if you need to put your feet here or your head there, if you need to take unorthodox trips alone or go meet up with, okay, anything that might be considered taboo in the forms of relating with others, Venus and Aquarius is all about. And it's important to know as it brings us towards Venus and Pisces, okay, which is a very different lover. It's a feminine lover. It's, to my personal opinion, it's the most divine feminine energy that exists in the zodiac. And with divine feminine energy, you have chaos. So, what's the chaos of Venus and Pisces? And why does it matter? Why is this transition I'm talking about? Well, first off, okay, in human design, the solar plexus has 2 gates minimum in Aquarius and like 4 gates in Pisces. Now, the solar plexus is the emotional center. It's also the willpower, or the tree of life, okay, which truly gets disrupted and impacted in the most negative way with alcohol, okay, drugs. These things really mess up not just Pisces more than Aquarius, but both. So here's why this matters, okay, for different reasons between Aquarius and Pisces. Venus and Pisces is where hedonism can take place in drugs, right? You say hedonism, you're talking Taurus, the natural ruler, okay? And Taurus is in Uranus, so that's Uranus, okay? Let's break this down. It's getting a little complex, but you got to join the membership, okay? Join the astrology membership if you want to learn this brick by brick. But Uranus is now the ruler, modernally, of Aquarius, and it's currently where? Taurus. But Venus has just left where? Aquarius, okay, by January 26th. It's shifting into Venus in Pisces. And so this is kind of a story saying that Uranus has rapidly developed what we require as for sensitivities when it comes to partnership, when it comes to love, a more physical love, a earthly type of sensual pleasure, okay? This, in a lot of ways, how I've looked at it, has been the evolution of Tantra. When I say evolution, I mean like being able to understand that love, connection does not always have to be physical, all right? A mental and telepathic connection where your body is informing you, all right, of what does your soul need, what does your more cosmic DNA, which is Aquarius, require, and us starting to see it as an intelligence, okay? So the reason why this matters is this is Taurus and Uranus, and that was making some squares with Aquarius. So this will also say something like, we can't just date and relate to somebody because they have money anymore, all right? So this is kind of helping you understand Venus and Pisces as we get closer, because Venus and Pisces now is a sign. One second. Okay, cool. I got my mic in my hand. Venus and Pisces is a sign that where we as a globe, as a collective, we are really starting to understand how much pressure we might put on a single person to solve all of our emotional issues, all of our emotional problems. And so Venus and Pisces can be highly addictive to love. Okay, like love is an addiction itself to a Pisces. Art, creativity, the romance of having a fantasy where we allow the emotional whims and waves, which is back where human design comes in, these waves of energy that comes from a defined solar plexus, can truly disrupt a person, especially if we don't focus on how can we emotionally evolve and mature, where we don't depend on anyone else, any partner, on an emotional crutch. Now, Venus and Aquarius coming right prior has allowed us the objective take to say, here's what I distinctly need in my partnership with you, in my relationship with you, in my connection with you, whether it's a friend or and otherwise. And so I've told multiple friends who I still text on WhatsApp that I'm not following on Instagram, for example. And it's like, this has no indication of how I feel about you in real life. Now, Aquarius will be able to look at some of this. Venus and Aquarius will do a couple things. One, it always has these hidden objections, okay, where we might object to something, but we might keep it private. We might keep it, distant, where we're not being entirely honest about where does, avoiding a problem or an issue, a discussion, an intellectual conversation or debate with a friend, okay, it has these hidden objections about where we might avoid the conflict altogether, which, as we lean into Venus in Pisces, we are actually asked to look deeper, okay, deeper than above and beyond in the future itself, more seeing the importance of going lower than low, so deep that we literally cease to exist, aka Akasha, or the etheric space is where we begin to try to love from there, where we will love a flower or a plant as much as we love a cat, as much as we love our lover, as much as we love our mother. And Venus in Pisces is like, look, I love any and all these things and people and places with exactly the same vigor. So what can happen is you might notice in your relationships, because Venus is where we really look to relate, we really look to understand what we need from a security level and from a sensual pleasing level. Venus is exalted in Pisces, right? So with that exaltation, we can essentially get addicted to either one person to take care of these emotional whims for us, or we can get addicted to love itself. Or, and I say addicted because Venus will also always show us our addictions. Now, also it says, look at the drugs. And we had a very clear look coming from Venus and Aquarius of what are our vices. Now, those vices will come back and test us while Venus is starting to connect with Neptune in Pisces. So Venus in Pisces will start to connect with Neptune in Pisces. And on top of that, we've been very clear where the conjunction between the moon in Aquarius, okay, I don't remember what day this was. It was in January, just a couple days ago from this message, maybe January 22nd or so, something like that, when Uranus went direct in Taurus. And that matters because Uranus is a planet of Aquarius. So all of this is making a grand story. So check with me, all right? What this is looking like is at 24 degrees, you had Venus in Aquarius meet up with Saturn in Aquarius. And the moon was only about a 2-degree orb out. It was maybe at 20 degrees in Aquarius, all on the same day. It's those 24 and 24s, okay? Venus and Saturn at 24, which is the degree of Pisces, which is the story of us objectively starting to see our vices, see our delusion, see where we allow ourselves to get confused on an emotional level and allowed others to use us as their emotional crutch in forms of, honest to God, emotional manipulation, aka guilt tripping, or finding ways to use relationships, whether in business or friendship, use relationships as martyrs itself, and find a way to lean on people by like more psychically convincing them that, hey, poor me, here's what you didn't do for me. And in reality, a lot of this is kind of really coming back to, here is me not embracing the practical elements of life that Venus in Aquarius was asking us to learn. Especially as we go 29 degrees Venus in Aquarius, you're going to see the more cataclysmic ending of what Venus in Aquarius was here to teach us about being distinct, about addressing certain issues when it comes to where we object from an emotional push of, drowning in somebody else's inability or lack of desire to address their vices. Whatever the vice, whatever the dependency, whatever the illusion, whatever the addiction. Venus and Aquarius had a very clear look, because when we put Venus in conjunction with Saturn, it's saying, look, we're asking you now to mature through these relationships and surrender, okay? Release, which Pisces is always about release, surrender to the chaos of there will always be a time where we need to fall low. We need to experience the wave of rage or anger and all the emotions, not just the joyous, delightful, and encouraging feelings of love, because love within itself is an all-encompassing emotion and energy that is consistently moving and vibrating. Okay, Venus and Aquarius, right before Venus and Pisces, was showing us how to not get obsessed with trivial matters, things that might be over the top for one person, but to us it doesn't matter. It's like it's trivial. It's the ability to see this from a flat line, not to dive and move and act on the high, or not to dive and move and act on the low. And this is again the solar plexus, okay, one of the houses of Aquarius, the solar plexus, the tree of life that gets truly impacted by our vices, by any drugs. And this is where Neptune and Pisces will really force us to kind of reach a new form of spiritual being, spiritual intelligence, spiritual knowing, and spiritual understanding, okay? Basically by having to dip low. And if I look at myself, like I've seen my vice, I've seen some of these days where I'm like, I'm getting angry, I'm getting pissed off, I'm getting anxious, I'm getting, impatient, and I find myself like, oh, I want to drink tequila. And it's like, no, it's the Venus conjunction prior, Venus and Saturn. Saturn is like, you must mature through these vices. You must mature through the ways in which you are avoiding, the deeper emotional issues, the deeper repressions, the deeper objections on people projecting onto me I'm their savior type of mentality. And when I say, no, I am not, then the claws come out. And again, this is kind of me as a 5-line, as a projector. And it's like Venus and Aquarius has shown us how to see this and not get too dived in and dialed into the trivial matter. Even if someone is able to successfully project their energy, anger, rage, and etc. onto me, it's for me and you to see this and realize that this is actually not a trivial matter to the next person. It does matter, and they are in a space where if I accept that projection, I am not helping that person, because they are continuing their vice to lean dependently, emotionally on someone outside of themselves. And this is where we're asked as the divine masculine, aka Aquarius, a very evolved and mature divine masculine. Saturn and Aquarius is here. We're asked to evolve how we and Venus and Pisces will test this. Like, ladies and gentlemen, like, please do not be mistaken that Venus and Pisces will test this, because while Aquarius is in the sky, we have that objective masculine energy. This divine masculine says, this divine feminine is beautiful in all its ability to surrender and love and nurture and be compassionate and be understanding and, to seep into me, to, drown me in love. And it's like, okay, great. But the divine masculine says, can a divine feminine match that within its feminine nature on a divine masculine level within the feminine itself? Because without that structure of the masculine, without that positive projection of a future where there is not just necessarily a balanced love, but a flowing and an evolving form of love, which means we are moving from breaking the chains of how our families loved. Okay, this is Saturn, this is Aquarius, breaking the chains, rebelling against what is considered and deemed the style of love. And it's like, well, is that your unique style of love? Venus and Pisces will show us those lows, will show us those depths. And what's most important, as I kind of finish and conclude this message, is to be aware of the emotional waves and understand that somebody going through emotional waves, especially if they have a defined solar plexus chakra in human design, it is not a bad thing. It is something that we need to be very clear, honest, and distinct, and choose authenticity, which is the divine feminine trait. Choose authenticity on how we choose to deal with those ways where it might be, I need to go away, or I need you to take a shower, or you need to step away. Whatever it is, it's about having mature and evolutionary conversations and discussions. That's what Venus and Aquarius are teaching us. Venus and Pisces will say, now that we did that, we need to make sure that we put love at a universal level, not on any one person, but into the universe. And as I put love into the universe, I will ultimately more be able and better ready and readily available to embrace love at an unconditional level. Especially me, like as a male, it's about being able to realize that strength requires the divine feminine to step up and stand out with his chest nice and firm and his shoulders relaxed, and for fortitude to come into essentially the revelations of, hey, this is where I have failed myself, and me failing myself has, turned this victimization into a crutch. Venus in Pisces says, let's end this before we step Venus into Aries. Let's end this before the solar eclipse, the solar new moon eclipse in Aries in April. Let's end this while we have all planets direct and moving forward, because we have written this story, we have told this narrative, and now we're looking to mutable sign Pisces change it for good permanently in the karma. Okay, and this is where you're going to recognize a lot of twin flames, soulmates, karmic connections, karmic bonds coming to their conclusion, coming to their ending, especially as Saturn gets ready to go into Pisces. And this is the preemptive narrative to close before Saturn leaves Aquarius and officially goes into Pisces, before Pluto leaves Capricorn and officially goes into Aquarius. So these are grand changes. These are not small. This is not light. This is my Venus and Pisces, Venus entering Pisces message. If you want to learn how to just try to dissect and break this down, do check out this Sunday, actually, where my members are meeting again for the Astro Divinity membership. We're learning human design and astrology in combination. I find it very unique. And this is your AstroShaman Pernell Bobby asking you to hit the thumbs up, actually hit the like button. If you're still here, drop a Pisces or an Aquarius emoji down in the chat, just to show that you're here, to show that you resonate with the message, and drop the emoji that resonates more. Are you excited for the Pisces coming in? Boom, rock with that energy. If you rock more with the Aquarius energy, give me that energy down in the chat. Hit the thumbs up. It's your AstroShaman Pernell Bobby. We are generating a world of harmony, leveraging human design astrology. Memberships are meeting again this Sunday, and it's a pleasure to have you. We just had 2 new ones come in. See you soon.